Mrs. Hoptuit decided to get a new vehicle, so we picked up a certified 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. Not only will this be her daily driver, but we can also use it to tow our 19-foot Sonic Light camper. This SUV has a factory towing package, but Jeep doesn't include a brake controller in the setup. Looks like I have to add one, so let's hop to it. If you thought adding a brake controller to this Jeep was going to be a simple job, I'll give you a hint. It wasn't. First, there's not a lot of info online regarding how to do this, so I figured I'd make this episode to help anyone else that's as confused as I was. Hopefully, this will help make things a bit clearer for you. Second, Jeep doesn't make installation very easy, at least for the controller I selected. Stay tuned and you'll see what I mean. I started out by deciding which controller I wanted to install. There are a few different types that I could get, and I'll take a minute to go over each kind. First is the standard dash controller that's been around for, well, almost forever. They come in many different brands and are simple to use. The problem is they hang below the dash, infringing on the legroom that the driver has. In a Grand Cherokee, that area is fairly tight as it is. Also, you have to mount them securely. That means drilling holes in the plastic lower dash to screw it in. Nope, not interested in doing that. The next type are controllers that use separate parts. The main control box gets mounted under the dash, and the display and actual controls are in another unit or two that get dash mounted. Some use adhesive pads to attach the controllers, but others require you to drill a mounting hole. Yeah, I'd still prefer not drilling. Next are the new Bluetooth controllers. They are controlled via your smartphone, or they may have a separate Bluetooth controller provided. This model by Kurt is a standalone unit that simply plugs into the 7-pin socket, then the trailer pigtail plugs into it. This has the advantage of being very quick and simple, but it has to run through a smartphone. I'm not sure I necessarily like that. This unit is also Bluetooth, but it attaches behind the rear bumper and hooks up to the back of the 7-way connector. To control it, there's a separate unit that plugs into a USB socket that you have at the dash. I like that idea, and this one is intriguing. You know, a few trucks ago, I had a Ram 1500 that had the same issue of not having a brake controller. At the time, I installed a multi-piece unit from Hopkins Towing Solutions. I remembered it, and it was good looking and worked really well. Maybe it would work well in this Jeep too. Sure enough, I found it on Amazon. It's a Hopkins Model 47297 Insight Flex Mount Proportional Brake Control. My Amazon history said I had purchased it before back in 2018. It also says that this will not fit my Grand Cherokee, which I can tell you is incorrect information. Get with it, Amazon. Since our Jeep has the factory towing package, I know there's a plug in the left driver's wheel well that hooks right into the trailer system. All I need to do is buy this, the appropriate OEM-style brake controller adapter. This is a Hopkins 53035 plug-in connector, and it works on Jeep Grand Cherokees with the factory towing package from 2011 to at least the 2025 model. And here's the controller. The package has all the parts crammed inside. Look, it promises no drilling. Here's the main controller box. It has a flat 4-pin connector on a short pigtail that connects it to the Jeep's wiring. This is the brake controller switch that gets mounted on the dash. Yes, it mounts vertically. The wire has a connector that plugs into the controller box. Here's the digital display. It tells you when the trailer brakes are applied and how much force is being used. This also plugs into the controller box. They also include some small wire ties, a few double-sided adhesive pads, a plastic mount that the controller switch attaches to, and a generic wire 4-pin connector with bare end pigtail. Since I bought the proper Jeep OEM connector, I won't need that connector at all. This morning the weather is hot and dry, so I have time to install everything before the wife heads off to work this afternoon. I start by removing the access panel. I can't find my plastic panel tool, so I just put a piece of tape on a smaller flathead screwdriver and gently pry it off. Hidden towards the firewall is the connector, It's taped to a bundle of wires to keep it stored out of the way. I pull off the tape to gain access. Here's where the OEM connector plug will attach to the system. There's really not much room here. I'm hoping to mount the controller box behind this panel like I did in the Ram 1500. I carefully remove the rest of the panel so I can see what I'm up against. Yeah, there's really not enough room to fit the box in here. Instead, I think I'll mount the controller box against the center console. Hopefully that will have a bit more room. I take the display unit and figure out where I want to mount it on the dash. I run the wire down the door, tucking it under the weather stripping to conceal it and hold it in place. I route it into the open panel. I have to fish this wire under the dash to the center console, so I remove this lower dash fiber panel so I can gain some access. Things under here are also very crowded. After some trial and error, the easiest thing for me to do is simply tuck the wire behind the top of the floor carpet. It's out of the way and will be held securely. This plastic center console panel will be a good place to mount the controller box. I'll hide it behind the plastic and use some double-sided tape to secure it in place. I decide to mount the controller switch next to the lower right of the steering column. I'll use the adhesive pads to secure it and route the wire through the steering column opening under the dash and to the box. That turned out to be quite a job. There's barely any room on the right-hand side of the steering column to run anything. I tried pushing a stiff wire around to try to find an open path. After almost 30 minutes, I found a small opening on the left side of the column. I ran the wire straight up to the firewall and tucked it behind the carpet. Both the controller switch and the display screen get plugged into the box. Then I mounted the box behind the panel. Next, I ran the 4-prong harness back to the wheel well, also tucking it behind the carpet. I plugged the 4-prong plug to the proper end of the OEM connector, then attach it to the Jeep's wiring plug. The controller glows red, showing that it has proper power. I tuck away any extra wiring and secure it. Then I reinstall the panels and trim I had removed. I snap on the access hatch and everything looks nice again. The supplied plastic dash mount gets snapped into the controller switch, and then it's adhered to the lower dash panel with double-sided adhesive pads. To finish up, I clean the upper dash with a little alcohol and stick down the base of the display unit. This job is complete. Now if we want to take out the Sonic, we can either use the Silverado or the Grand Cherokee. As always, please high-five that like icon, jingle the notification bell, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Until next time, keep camping!